friends, welcome to Jamie's Corner. Today I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to study well in college. Do you ever have those days where you're just like, I can't do this. I look at my physics problem and I'm like, no, I can't do this. And then table flip. But today we're not going to talk about that because we're going to talk about how to help you succeed in college. That's right, you. Here's tip number 1. So first of all, you have to make sure you have the correct mindset. Honestly, whenever I do homework, I like to think of it as, okay, I'm gonna do this for 1 or 2 hours. And like I found out that like throughout my years of studying that like it's a lot better when I designate if I can talk, designate like a small chunk of time to like doing one specific assignment versus like being like, okay, I'm gonna spend this whole day doing physics, because like at the end of the day I'm just not gonna end up doing anything. So if you like break up your time in small little chunks, it's just like easier for you to like process all that information and just like do one thing at a time, and then things will go by a lot faster. My next tip would be to talk to your professors. Honestly, I've like gone to so many of my professors' office hours, and like even though some of them might not be like super great like lectures or like really helpful during like one-on-one sessions, so definitely go to those. Like it's a valuable resource that like you really shouldn't give up, because honestly you're paying them to like help you, so it's like why not go and take advantage of that, you know? Number 3, know who you study well with. I know that a lot of the times you might want to study with like certain groups of friends, but I advise you to not do that, I guess. Just like if you really need to study, do it so that you're studying with like the right kind of people and like people who will motivate you to study, so that you don't really get distracted like when you are trying to focus and your friends are there and they show you like a funny like dog video or something. Which brings me to my 4th tip. Definitely study with 3 groups of people. So those groups are people who like don't know as much as you. Okay, that sounds really bad, but like people just like that, I don't know, like that don't get some concepts that you do. And then study with people who are on your level, and then also study with people who are, like smarter than you. So that way you're able to like help people who don't understand it quite well, and it's like better for you, because like if you're able to explain the material to someone else, that really means that you have like a full grasp on what's being taught. And then obviously if there are like smarter people, like then you can like ask them for help, and then you won't have to be like struggling by yourself. Okay, this next tip might be like the most important tip, but honestly it's so hard to do. Don't procrastinate. Like I'm so guilty of doing this like all the time, but like if you have like a big project or like a big essay, just like make sure you like plan everything out, and then like maybe like within like the first week you can be like, okay, I'm gonna like find an article for my research paper, or at least like write your first paragraph. That way when you break everything down, it doesn't just like all pile on like the day before it's due, and then you're like trying to type away like at 11:59 before the deadline. Okay, tip number 6 would be to use those extra times that you have in between classes to do your homework. I know it might seem like really small, but like those extra 30 or 40 minutes will be super useful, because like you're gonna be able to get like 5 problems done, but then like the next 30 or 40 minutes you're gonna be able to get another 5 problems done, and then like afterwards it'll be like 10 problems done. Woohoo, math! And then like before you know it, everything will just be done like so much faster. Tip number 7. Is this a 7? 7. So tip number 7 would be to sleep on it. If you don't get a concept, or if something is like super hard, just take a nap, like take a 30-minute power nap. Did you know when you're sleeping, that's when all your brain synapses like come together, and then they consolidate all the information that you've learned. So that's why it's always better to like nap on something, and then like sleep on something, and then hopefully when you wake up, like you'll just like know it. Tip number 8 would be to study different subjects at different intervals. So instead of like studying chemistry for like 5 hours a day, maybe like break it up into like 1 to 2 hours, and then study math, and then study like psychology, or just like study all the other subjects you have, because that way like your mind's gonna be more focused when you switch between different subjects, instead of like kind of like forcing it to learn one thing and then just not giving it a break. Or at least that's what I found to be helpful. It might not be the same for everyone, but you should definitely check it out and see if it works for you. Also, this is kind of important too. Definitely go over concepts or just like problems that you've missed after you've taken a quiz or like a big test, because that's usually, you know, like what they're gonna test you on in the next quiz. So just make sure that you understand all the concepts behind every question, and then like afterwards when you come back and then like you redo it, you know exactly what you're doing. And last but not least, Google is your best friend. You would be amazed at how many things that you can find online. Like you can go to Khan Academy, you can look up like YouTube videos or like just like physics or like math for dummies, and it's just like really helpful because there's just like a plethora of resources like at your fingertips, and in case you know you don't get something, you can always like read about it online. Whether you're in college or like in high school or middle school, those tips should help you out. And like if there's any other tips that you guys find to be super helpful when you're studying, make sure to put it down in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!